5 seconds. The Green Revolution or the Third Agricultural Revolution is the set of research, technology, transfer initiatives occurring between 1950 and the late 1960s that increased agricultural production worldwide, beginning most markedly in the late 1960s. The initiative resulted in the adoption of new technologies, including high-yielding varieties of cereals, especially dwarf wheat and rice. It was associated with chemical fertilizers, agrochemicals, and controlled water supply, usually involving irrigation, and newer methods of cultivation, including mechanization. All of these together were seen as a package of practices to supersede traditional technology and to be adopted as a whole. Both the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation were heavily involved in its initial development in Mexico. One key leader was Norman Borlaug, the father of the Green Revolution, who received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970. He is credited with saving over 1 billion people from starvation. The basic approach was the development of high-yielding varieties of cereal grains, expansion of irrigation infrastructure, modernization of management techniques, distribution of hybridized seeds, synthetic fertilizers, and pesticides to farmers. The term Green Revolution was first used by William S. Gord, the administrator of the U.S. Agency for International Development, in a speech on 8 March 1968. He noted the spread of the new technologies as these and other developments in the field of agriculture contain the makings of a new revolution. It is not a violent red revolution like that of the Soviets, nor it is a white revolution like that of the Shah of Iran. I call it the Green Revolution. Borlaug dismissed certain claims of critics but also cautioned there are no miracles in agricultural production, nor is there such a thing as a miracle variety of wheat, rice, or maize which can serve as an elixir to cure all ills of a stagnant traditional agriculture. Some of the environmental lobbyists of the Western nations are the salt of the earth, but many of them are elitists. They have never experienced the physical sensation of hunger. They do their lobbying from comfortable office suites in Washington or Brussels. If they lived just 1 month amid the misery of the developing world, as I have for 50 years, they had be crying out for tractors and fertilizers and irrigation canals and be outraged that fashionable elitists back home were trying to deny them these things. Although the Green Revolution has been able to improve agricultural output in some regions in the world, there was and is still room for improvement. As a result, many organizations continue to invent new ways to improve the techniques already used in the Green Revolution. Frequently quoted inventions are the system of rice intensification, marker-assisted selection, agroecology, and applying existing technologies to agricultural problems of the developing world. Current challenges for nations trying to modernize their agriculture include closing the urban-rural income gap, integration of smallholders into value chains, and maintaining competitiveness in the market. However, in low-income countries, chronic problems such as poverty and hunger cause agricultural modernization efforts to be constrained. It is projected that global populations by will increase by 1/3 and as such will require a 70% increase in the production of food. Therefore, the second green revolution will likely focus on improving tolerances to pest and disease in addition to technological input use efficiency.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.